Chala, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert, coming to you live with another Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. And here I have my trusty protein. It is lunchtime. I am a little bit early because the afternoon is going to be a little bit crazy. So let me start. I love this topic. I love this topic because every single day I see people wasting LinkedIn. I see my clients wasting LinkedIn. I see people that I'm, following or who are following me wasting LinkedIn. And the truth of it is, when you think about the history of LinkedIn, I mean, it was apparently invented sometime in 2000, really came to be, what we know as in 2002. And it didn't really hit 10 million users until 2007, which was 5 years. And I'm thinking in the years that I was working at Pepsi, Pizza Hut, and Frito-Lay during those years, we didn't have LinkedIn, and it is such a game changer. Everything was done with, old-fashioned phone calls and cold calls and knocking on doors, and suppliers would try to get in through all of those ways, and they never could. All the times that I was working at those high level jobs at the Pepsi, Pizza, Frito-Lay when I was in marketing, and it was one of the most sexiest brands to work for, where everybody was trying to sell to me, for God's sake. And there was no LinkedIn. I couldn't find any information. They couldn't find any information. There was nowhere to connect. And now when I'm thinking about how much is available to us and to business owners and how they're not making use of it, and if they are using it, they're using it wrong. And I've been guilty. I have hired companies to use it wrong for me. I have hired, third-party sales reps to use it wrong for me. I've used it wrong. I've gotten training to use it in the wrong way. So I wanted to take you through how I think businesses are wasting it right now. So the first and foremost, of course, is all about your headline, your job title headline, because you are wasting your job title headline if all you put is your position and the name of your function and title. Because remember, 70% of humans purchase based on pain. So as soon as they look at your profile, if they don't see anything that relates to them, it's going to be a nice to know, but it's not going to stick to them, and it's not going to be something that they remember about you. So for example, instead of putting CEO at, the Repositioning Expert, I put who I help, what I do, and the pain that I solve. So in my LinkedIn profile, it says I help overwhelmed B2B eliminate. So this is an example. I didn't actually put mine. I put mine later on, but I help overwhelmed B2B manufacturers eliminate production delays of 2 billion a year. So this was just an example that I wrote. So make it, instead of saying CEO at, let's say, Tech Solution, a company that does this, kind of B2B manufacturing consulting, you could make it about them. So see how we put who we help, what we help, and how much we save them, right? The 2 billion a year. Number two, you're wasting your about section. So you remember the about section, the first 3 lines are really key. That's what's visible before the see more. So that's where they're looking. And again, reiterate who you help, what pain you solve. So here's the one where I put mine. I'm a marketing strategist who helps B2B service providers to connect quicker with decision makers, and these are corporate decision makers, by repositioning their message. So after you put that first three lines is really, really key, then I want you to look at the next is the credibility. So why should I pick you? How do you know about this? So that could be your years in business, your awards, any TV appearances, your degrees, any special methodology, any special technologies. So that's all your credentials. Okay. And then I like to end it with, and this is not discussed this way all the time. Sorry, this is like really, really, okay. Oh, that's much better. Okay. So the lighting, it's very sunny out today. I'm not going to complain about it, but oh, that's much better. See, these are the things that you have to worry about when you're doing a live. There you go. Much better. I look so much better. Okay. So the quirky personal details. So in mine, I actually updated it today because I'm doing this. I talked about, Logan, my adorable 16-year-old, my obsession with the gym, my obsession with podcasts, and, my Kindle I wrote. So these are all quirky personal details that allow people to remember you and for you to be human and for you to stand out. Next, we're going to talk about wasting your keywords. If you've ever heard of something called keyword stuffing, if you're not keyword stuffing the 5 to 10 words that your buyers are using to search for you, talk about you, Google you, whatever it is that in your target industry of your target buyer would be thinking about you. And this is something that I have all my clients figure out without any machines, without any AI, without any Google, to actually them ask the horse's mouth of either the influencer in the industry or the decision maker and the check signer. I have them ask what are the key words that they look for them for a solution for that problem that they identified was the number one problem in their industry. So find those words and then stuff it, meaning use these words in your LinkedIn profile into headlines and sections and where you're talking about your experience. And then further on, if you go so far as to do a newsletter, like a LinkedIn newsletter, like I do, stuff it in there, stuff it into your article titles, stuff it into your actual articles, stuff it into, even I use it for when I ask for testimonials. So when I ask for recommendations. So these are things that you want to be consistent across your profile so that even if they're, not searching through LinkedIn like Google, but they're going to see it consistently over and over again, and they're going to be convinced that you are, in fact, an expert at what you say you are. So for me, this would be B2B marketing strategist, corporate sales development, technical industry positioning. These are some of the keywords that I've stuffed. Now, the biggest thing I have to tell you is please avoid overusing the words strategic, innovative, and results driven. I mean, I have other pet peeves around claiming quality, claiming low price, and claiming good service. Everybody says these things, therefore they are not a differentiator and they just won't set you apart. The next one is wasting your photo and banner. Ooh, so important. So there's just no excuse with AI being on everybody's fingertips. I literally did this and I can post this for you. I'm thinking of posting it for you. Take your photo right now, just on your phone, and then just turn it around and take your photo. Turn the screen and take your photo, and then use any AI. I use Gemini to do and use this photo to do a professional headshot, and don't alter my face too much, say, because there's certain versions that it altered my face too much. And then if I don't like it, I say smooth it out with a little bit of makeup, or increase my makeup. So you can literally change what you're wearing. Just say use this picture to provide a professional headshot. Honestly, I know I have done topics about people mistrusting businesses that are using AI, but believe me, your headshot is the least of my worries, because I am more worried about how you come across in your LinkedIn profile, because of maybe you never had a professional headshot. You never paid a professional photographer to sit and do your professional headshot. Now, if you're a business owner, shame on you. If you're an employee, that's more understandable, because who's going to invest in that kind of an investment just to be, on LinkedIn? But it still speaks volumes, even if you're working for a corporation and you haven't had the time or the willingness to be able to do that. It speaks volumes. The quality of your picture and your banner speaks volumes. So make sure that your, face is head on smiling, and it should be 60% of the space, because sometimes you've been cutting it from a family photo, you're, taking your own photo and posting it. Yeah, just use AI. Trust me on this one. The Gemini that I use, create an image, is free. And so go ahead and do that. That's the Google version of ChatGPT. Now the banner. If you have your own business, the banner should not be the generic blue, whatever background they're using now. It should have your positioning and who you help and what you do in one line. So here's mine: helping B2B service providers get and keep a decision maker's attention. So it's really a free billboard space. And if you're wasting it, you're wasting that 82% of the time of those buyers when you reach out to them, whether in person or online. They're going to check you out, and if they see that generic, blue color where you haven't really used any of that space, that the free billboard, and the non-professional headshot or no headshot, then they're not going to accept that meeting with you. Okay. So it's a huge, and I have heard this and I have seen it. So don't waste your photo and your banner. Now, the next thing not to waste is, don't waste your time by saying nothing on LinkedIn. And what I mean by that is 1.1 billion people are on LinkedIn, but so very few, I think, I should probably look this up, what percentage are providing. And I don't have that data right at my fingertips, but something like only 10% are creating content or a text or a comment, something to put into the stream. Here's what's available for you. Posting weekly versus monthly gives you 5.6 times more followers and 7 times faster growth. So weekly versus monthly. But don't post mindlessly. Again, this is like, just here's an event I went to. That's great, but I would rather you be more strategic about, why don't you make a calendar of all the things, or just keep it written somewhere so that you have an idea, and use paying sound bites of your target client and of their industry. Use client success stories, including their numeric results, their KPI results, and you can use their permission, or you can use descriptors of them without actually, if you don't have their permission, without actually using their name. You can share info from others about your niche expertise with your own comments. And then you can share your 2 cents in whatever format. It could be written, it could be text, it could be voice, it could be, like a voiceover over a presentation, voiceover over a picture. I mean, so most people are not creating. 90% of the 1.1 billion are watching, and you are wasting your time if you're just one of the 90%. I'm telling you right now. Now, the other thing you're wasting is, of course, eyeballs that are watching, because remember, 90% are watching, and those are the eyeballs. Some of those are going to be your buyers. So here's some stats about what is actually being watched more. Carousels, that's the flipping screens of different images, and then live videos, just like this one. This is a live video. It was invented through a coach Kelly Roach, that I hired during the pandemic. And I was very uncomfortable doing lives. I was very uncomfortable doing unscripted. I was very uncomfortable not putting up the PowerPoint presentations and just speaking off the cuff. And you still hear me going, it's not polished at all. And I love podcasts that have, the full lighting and the professional mics and the sound studios. But this is not what it is. And yet when clients hire me, they binge all this content, because essentially they get a sense of my personality, but also they get a real good sense of what I know. So, and what they're going to be getting with, their investment. So let me tell you about carousels. They get 1.9 times more engagement, and live videos get this 24 times more interaction than actually if I were to pre-record this. And believe me, I've done that too. I've done lots of pre-recorded stuff. So the carousels, you can use it for the step-by-step, like instructions. You could use it to lay out frameworks or case studies. That really works well. And then live videos like this, your 2 cents, my 2 cents, tips. These are my tips. I like to use these for client interview testimonials, like how did it go for them. I like to showcase their success. And then as a result, they also showcase my success by having how did we work together to make them succeed. So that's what I use live videos for. And these are topics that I love talking about. How to waste LinkedIn, for example, because it drives me insane when I talk to my clients and they're not doing it, or I meet business owners in roundtables or networking or where I'm speaking and they're not using it properly. So this is my forum. If I ever meet anyone like that, I'm just going to send them, the link to this. Okay. Last, I think I put wasting your morning coffee. So here's why. In the time that you could be drinking your morning coffee, you could be doing some of these things. Why not, while you're drinking your morning coffee, why not every day, each morning, take 15 minutes and comment something non-generic and like real genuine from your heart on 5 posts in your stream to targeted people, and non-targeted people should not be in your stream. You should be looking at who you're going to focus on, and you should take out anybody out of your stream that you're not focused on. Okay. Like your family and friends are great, but that's not what this is for. It's for building business. If you're a business owner, respond to comments within 24 hours. So use that 15 minutes to do that. And then why don't you send 2 personalized, like real genuine and not canned connection requests based on their pain, saying, here's what I know about your industry pain and here's how I've helped. Would it help? And again, you have to be really succinct because, on the free plan, you're not allowed that many words. You're not allowed that many emails, in mails. So why don't you do that during your coffee? So what if each week, in addition to each morning, you created something like this? And what if you created 1 video or 1 post, or you can use that post in a newsletter, or you can use the video in the newsletter, which is what I do. I take this video, which is streamed right into through using StreamYard. It's streamed into multiple social media outlets, and then I pick it up on YouTube. I actually take the script. I scrape the script from the video and then put it into Claude, which is my AI of choice, and then I use that to build multiple content pieces for the rest of the week. So this is going to be the topic for this week. So that's what I would like, is for you to actually have an idea of, I call it, make it a pain calendar, meaning your client's pain. A lot of people think I'm talking about your pain. I'm not interested in your pain. I'm interested in your client's industry's pain and how you help solve that pain. So if you have a pain soundbite every single day or every single week to talk about like this, then you can, you can sit down and think about it. You can use AI to think about it. You can use your actual, clients to come up with ideas of what you've heard from them. And then you make out a calendar where you can actually book it out. And so you don't have to worry about what am I going to write about today. So wishing you a whole new 2026 game with LinkedIn, because if you take some of these suggestions, I guarantee your 2026 is going to look really different. All right, everyone. I will see you next week. Take care.